Hi, I'm Bob Wiedemer, and this is my colleague Matthew Piepenburg. We are the managing directors of Ark Financial Management. We'd like to briefly share a little bit about our firm, our investment philosophy, and how we invest client assets entrusted to our care. In terms of our management philosophy, our primary goal is the preservation of capital over the long term, especially in the context of a significant market disruption, which we see as inevitable. Toward this end, we named our firm Ark Financial, precisely because we have designed a vehicle to navigate clients through stormy financial times so that we can prosper during and after market storms. We recognize that preservation of capital is a theme used by others in the investment industry. However, most use that concept differently. When other money managers talk about preservation of capital, it often means placing you in the portfolio of long-term bonds and some high dividend stocks. While these assets are part of building a conservative portfolio, in the long run, we don't think such standard allocations are the best way to preserve your capital. Most money managers will also tell you to simply ride out the ups and downs of the stock and bond markets, reassuring clients that markets traditionally go up and down, but in the end, they always go up. We don't think that's true. We think that markets are headed in a different rather than traditional investment direction. This is due to the misguided economic policies this country has undertaken, in particular massive and unprecedented money printing and government borrowing in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis, which we interpret as a turning point in the history of capital markets. Ultimately, we think this means that when the next downturn occurs, and it will come, the stock and bond markets will go down and stay down. The Fed simply won't have the ability and resources to reinflate these markets again. Now, short term, however, this massive stimulus can and will boost the stock market and to some extent the economy. But at some point, we know that we will need to deal with a down market without a government safety net. We currently do this by having short positions in stock indices. As the economy becomes more unstable, we'll also reduce our long stock and bond exposures and continue to add to our short position. We use or could use gold as another way to protect assets at appropriate times. It's a good way to make a profit and give you protection. We'll also look at foreign currencies as another way to navigate these somewhat difficult markets. Currently, however, the dollar is still a safe haven and seen as a safe haven currency. We think this will change and we will be invested in alternative foreign currencies.
Let me briefly describe the mechanics of how we work. If you invest with us, you don't actually give Ark any funds. Instead, we help you set up an account with Charles Schwab in your own name. You then give us the limited authority to make appropriate trades on your behalf. And we like this for two reasons. First, you get everything that comes with being a Charles Schwab client, including the ability to see what is happening in your account 24 hours a day. You also receive trade confirmations, statements, and tax reporting. Secondly, you get the security of knowing your money is custodied with one of the largest brokerage firms in the country. Our fees are generally 1% per year, depending on how you invest with us. Schwab charges investors $8.95 per equity trade, and there are no other fees involved. Communicating with our clients is a singular priority. In addition to the information provided through Schwab, our clients hear from us at least quarterly to discuss our economic and investment outlook. We also provide broader quarterly investor conference calls where a client can call in and listen to our updated thoughts. Of course, clients may contact us at any time if they just have specific questions or just wish to discuss markets and the economy in general. We don't want to overwhelm investors with information, but we do want clients to know what we are thinking at all times. Because we think so differently from conventional money managers, we feel this emphasis on communication is particularly important. Decades of experience in the capital markets have confirmed our dedication to educating rather than pitching investors. And because markets have so fundamentally changed in the wake of post-08 monetary policies, such an approach, one which underscores education and candor, is needed now more than ever.
Thanks, Matt. As you said, we have a passion for thinking about and writing about investments and the economy and educating others. That's part of the reason I've written a New York Times best-selling book, Aftershock, on the economy and investments. But the big difference between us and other money managers is how we deal with the future. In the future, most money managers will have the same investments they have today and incur tremendous losses, just as we saw in the financial crisis of 2008, but much, much worse. We won't. We understand what's happening with the economy and investment markets fundamentally and know it can and will change. Other money managers are primarily stock and bond salesmen and have to cheer on their products and the traditional portfolio theories that worked in the past and natural markets rather than the artificially stimulated and manipulated markets we have today. You wouldn't expect a car salesman to be negative on his cars or the car industry in general, right? Fortunately, we have no self-preserving bias. We believe what worked for the money management industry in the past is not good for you in the future. To profit and survive in today's and tomorrow's investment environment, you have to have a different approach, one that recognizes the watershed changes that will inevitably come. We aren't stock and bond salesmen. We see an actual rather than a promoted macroeconomic and investment picture. This commitment to real data and our objective avoidance of market cheerleading helps us to best manage your investments for the future. We are here to help you preserve and grow the assets you work so hard for. Give us a call at 703-774-3520 if you'd like to talk with us.